ETH, we start with 1 hour chart. Okay, first of all, if we refer to our analysis, in my last video, when the price was here, we mentioned how we're looking at this chart, what we're expecting, because we mentioned we're looking for sell. How we explain how we can look for sell from here, because if you mention if we get a flat, and we mentioned if the best things is if this one tend to in relative to each other, the price can break the top before we get a down move. And as we can see, the price broke, but we didn't have any trade set up for buy. And again, whatever we put here, we mention is indicative. Okay, and now want to see how we can look for trade. And even if we remove this, because usually from what we have here, mostly we can expect the price to drop. If we get any sell, we are more interested. And even if the price broke the top, any reversal with a sharp move, it can give us a really good trade setup. Okay, first of all, we move to higher time frame. We see how we can look at the entire structure, the chart from the daily to lower time frame. And even for those traders, is the first time to see this analysis. At least they know what we are looking for. Okay, first of all, based on daily chart, after we get this down move, now we are within this correction. We want to put this correction in relative to this for next move. We want to see whether the price can break the top, previous top or not. The only question is how deep this one can be before we get the next down move, next up move. If this one become more complex, it can give us better trade setup for the breakout and continuation. Okay, but based on forward chart, we have not. I'm sorry, daily chart, we have nothing else to talk about. The only thing says we want to see how complex this correction can be. In this case, we move to forward chart. All right. Based on a forward chart, if we refer to one analysis, that every time we mention when the price was here, within this move, we have been looking for this too with the breakout of the top. And after the price broke the top, okay, we see we had a divergence. That's why we were expecting the price to drop, and now we get. And now this is the correction we're looking for. We want to put this correction in relative to this move. If this is the first move, any big correction, the next move can give us better trade setup. We want to see how complex this correction can be. Okay, and right now from what we have seen, if we consider this as a trend line, okay, again is indicative. We don't look at the breakout of this. Okay, we look at this is with the first move including the three waves, and now we are within this correction. As we can see, the wave is consolidating. Any down move, it can give us a really good trade setup. Structurally, we're looking for sell. That means we can expect the price to give us one more drop before we look for the next move. But it doesn't mean the price cannot continue from here. Even the price can continue as a corrective. I don't think we can get a really good trade setup. Even we can get a sharp move. If the price didn't drop from here, for example, sharply reverse from here, the best thing is we wait with the breakout of the top, we look for buy. Unless within this range, based on lower time frame, we get the sharp move with the flag, we can see whether we can look for trade or not, how high it can go. Okay, by the way, again, as I explained, technically, we are more interested in the sell. That means one more drop with the breakout of this low. Any breakout from there, any reversal from there, we can look for buy. Okay, if we get the down move, if we get any opportunity for the sell, the first level which I'm looking for is 1642, following by 1562. It depends how deep it can go. First, we want to see when the price drop, how sharp it can drop. Whether it drop, if it drop, it can be quite sharp, similar to what we have here, or in terms of the corrective. If the price drop as a corrective, I don't think even we can get a good trade setup. But if the price sharp, we can get a really good trade setup. And this is the best things we're looking for is 1642. Whether it can break and continue, we need to see. Okay, in this case, we move to lower time frame. We want to see how we can trade based on lower time frame. And if we move to 1 hour chart, all right. As I mentioned, if you refer to our last analysis, when the price was here, we were mentioned be looking for sell. The question was whether we get the sell from here, because like I mentioned, if you want to look for sell, this is the reason I mentioned we need to get the flat. I mentioned we need to get one move up, at least we get the flat. Any down move, we can trade it. The reason is why sometimes we're looking for the flat. This is what we have it. Because if anyone sell here without having a proper trade setup, no, they should be within this move. Okay, that's mean they are lost, they can lose some. All right, that's why I mentioned we need to get the flat, then any down move from there we can trade it. Okay, by the way, we didn't get it because we mentioned that we can, because if we mention the price continue from here, we can look for this. But we didn't have any proper, I mean, the divergence here, we can look for any information from here. All right, we just leave it, leave it. And now, beside that, we mentioned that, I mean, the second option, we mentioned that mostly we can look for this too. That's why I mentioned if the price continue and break the top, any reversal from there, this is what we are more interested. Now the thing is, whether this one can continue and break the top or not, but any reversal, the best thing is with the breakout of the top, any reversal, we are more interested, at least with the sharp, with the move, with the flag, we can take the trade. How about if the price drop from here? Also, we can take the trade. But when the price comes somewhere around here, we see if there is no continuation, we take out the trade me, we just put our line here, similar to what I put. Okay, again, indicative. That means if we get any sell from here, if the price reach almost to this low or near to this line, we start to manage it. May I remove it is better. I just mentioned if we get any down move from here without breakout of the top, when the price come to this level, we start to manage, which is the 1755 if there is no breakout. But the best thing is if the price continue and break the top, then we will have this correction. All right, for next move down. And one thing is also, we need, if there is a continuation with the breakout of the top, then we can put these two in relative to each other. Then we check whether we have a divergence or not. I mean, if the price broke, but right now we just mentioning, because right now we cannot compare, and even based on MACD we can compare. Okay, mostly we can expect if there is a divergence, the net down move can give us good trade setup. This is what we can see. But if there is a no divergence, also we can look for sell, because we're expecting the sharp move with the flag. But mostly we know if we get the divergence, both even based on MACD and the second indicators. Actually, this is not the RSI. This is a combination. Okay, then from there we can get better trade setup. By the way, right now we don't have any trade setup, and for buy we cannot look for buy unless there is a breakout of the top. We see some changes from here. For example, the sharply price break with a flag, then we see whether we can have a look. We can look for buy or not. And even if you move to 15 minutes, we see what we have based on 15 minutes. Based on 15 minutes, we have nothing. The only thing is still we can expect one move, the price drop a bit more, move a bit higher. Okay. Now the thing is, this is what we're looking for. We want the price whether can break 1850 or not. If I move to 1 hour chart, we double check. All right, yeah, exactly 1850. Now the thing is, as you can see, price when reached to this level 1832, we want to see whether there is a breakout of this one or not. Continuation with the top. Anyway, we're looking for the sell. The only thing is we need to see whether the price can break the top or not. In this case, we just follow the chart. If I see any update, I will share. Thanks.